Hi, Rascals. I'm Mrs. Durrin, and I'm going to be doing a read aloud today with you. The book I am selecting is Shark Lady, and it is Women's History Month for the month of March. And so that's the book I'll be reading. But before I get started, I want to take a minute and just have us look at this book. Look at this illustration. This shark. How is this photograph making you feel? Is it the type of photo that makes you go, oh, isn't it so cute? I want to cuddle with him. Or is it one that makes you go, ew, no way, I wouldn't even stick my toe in the water. Well, writers write to persuade us. And sometimes it's for the benefit of the animal, and sometimes it's not. So when you're reading, be on the look for that. And so, as we get started with Shark Lady, maybe she will help to show a different side of sharks that we might not have thought about before. Let's get started. I'll share my screen here. There we go. I want to make it nice and large so you can see the pages nice and clear. And so, Shark Lady, the true story of how Eugene Clark became the ocean's most fearless scientist. And here is a picture of the author, Jess Keating. She is the one who wrote the words. And down here is a picture of Marta Alvarez. This is the person who draws the pictures. Before we get started, I want to read the inside sleeve. It gives us an idea when we're sharing a book, what it's about. This is the story of a woman who dared to dive, defy, discover, and inspire. This is the story of Shark Lady. Eugene Clark fell in love with sharks from the first moment she saw them at the aquarium. She couldn't imagine anything more exciting than studying these graceful creatures. But Eugene quickly discovered that many people believe sharks to be ugly and scary, and they don't think women should be scientists. Well, we're gonna take that challenge on, aren't we? But do you see that? When we see books like this, they are trying to tell us that sharks are mean and scary, but are they? Shark Lady, the true story of Eugene Clark becoming the ocean's most fearless scientist, written by Jess Keating, illustrated by Marta Alvarez. So as I'm reading this story, I want you to think about, what is your dream? And is it time? Is the time now to get started chasing and making your dream come to true? Maybe Eugene will inspire you. So here we go. It was Saturday, and Eugene wanted to stay at the aquarium forever. She wanted to smell the damp, salty air and stare at the glittery rainbow of fish. She wanted to keep watching her favorite animals, the sharks. Eugene pretended she was walking on the bottom of the sea. What would it be like to swim with her sharks, to breathe underwater with gills of her own? More than anything, she wanted to find out. When summer came, Eugene's mother took her to swim at the beach in Atlantic City. Stuffing sticky gum into her ears to keep the water out, Eugene dove down, down, down. Wait, did you hear that? What? Stuffing sticky gum? So bubble gum she chewed. She took it out and she put it in her ears so she could dive under the water without getting water in her ears. Pretty creative, but I don't know if I would stick bubble gum in my ear. What about you? Would you? The salt stung her eyes, but she didn't want to miss a single fish. Constellation of sea stars speckled the pebbled sand. She imagined a silvery fin standing strong on her back, slicing through the ocean's current. Slicing through the ocean current. To others, sharks were ugly and scary. Yeah, do you see that? Here it is. That's what we see. That's what it makes us think, isn't it? But Eugenie, she knew they were beautiful. As she glided through the cool water, she wished everyone could see sharks through her eyes. But the sharks were only in her mind for now. Eugenie decided to learn everything she could about them. So she dove. What do you think she dove into? Wait for it. What is it? Oh, she dove this time into books. Whale sharks, nurse sharks, tiger sharks, lemon sharks. Eugenie wanted to know about them all. She also joined the Queens County Aquarium Society as its youngest member. Whoa, go girl. Eugenie's notebooks filled with sharks. They swam in her daydreams and on the margins of her pages. So look how the illustrator, Marta, captured that. She has the sharks swimming through her imagination. Isn't that cool? At home, Eugenie's mother surprised her with an aquarium of her own. A 15-gallon tank was much too small for sharks, but Eugenie saved her allowance. Eugenie saved her money to buy guppies, clownfish, and coral red snails. It felt as big as an ocean in her room. Their tiny apartment became an aquarium, a laboratory, and a sanctuary. You know, that reminds me of, I loved raising lizards, and I would have an aquarium and I would have the sand and everything that they needed that they had in the wild. And that was kind of like my laboratory. And I learned from them, but also was a sanctuary where I kept them nice and safe. As Eugenie grew older, many were still telling Eugenie what to do. Forget those sharks. Be a secretary. Be a housewife. Eugenie wanted to study zoology, but some of her professors, some of her teachers thought women weren't smart enough to be scientists or brave enough to explore the oceans. And they said sharks were mindless monsters. You know, I want to take a minute. If your heart, your passion is to grow up and be a secretary, do it. Take on that dream and master it. If your passion is to stay home and take care of your family, do it. Take that passion on and master it. Those are good professions. But if anybody tells you not to chase your dreams, if you want to be something different, don't listen to those naysayers. Go after what is right for you. Follow your heart. Follow your dreams of what you want to become. Eugenie knew better. Her dream was as big as a whale shark. So again, Eugenie dove. She plunged into every course she could. Her laboratory became her home. From sunrise to sunset, she studied how fish grow, how they behave, and how they were put together inside and out. Despite all the people who didn't believe in her, and we will have them, I'm sorry to say, Eugenie was becoming one of the smartest students in her field. Even after she earned her degree, many people still doubted her. And that may happen, my friends, but don't ever let that stop you from chasing and following your dreams. But Eugenie's work was just beginning. Eager to make discoveries of her own, Eugenie finally dove into the open ocean. In the Red Sea, Eugenie collected hundreds of fish, including 3 species that had not been discovered before. Oh my gosh, my friends, look down here at the page. Do you see these 3 specimens? These are what she found. And guess what? When you find something that hasn't been discovered before, you get to name it. So she named all 3 of these. Wow. And that happens with plants. If you're ever into studying plants and you want to go out and you find a plant that nobody else has discovered, you get to name it. Isn't that pretty cool? But back to the story. On a research mission, on a research mission exploring the Palau Islands, Eugenie was diving alone when she encountered her first ever wild shark. She wasn't afraid. Instead, she thought it was beautiful. And so, my friends, there is an illustration of the exact same shark here. And they give us different feelings. And so we got to ask, what's the true story? Are sharks mean, ugly monsters? Or are they beautiful creatures living in a big ocean? In Isla Mujeres, she dispelled the myth that sharks must keep moving to stay alive when she swam through dark caves, still and silent, full of resting sharks. Eugenie's daring heart grew bolder with each dive. Soon they began to call her Shark Lady. Eugenie had proven she was smart enough to be a scientist and brave enough to explore the oceans. Look at that. As her courage grew, she began to love and understand her beloved sharks more and more. But she never forgot. Many still believed that sharks were mindless killers. Because of their scary reputations, humans were hunting sharks all over the world. Eugenie knew sharks weren't stupid or mean. She was determined to prove everyone wrong. So, what a courageous woman following her dream. Eugenie fished through her mind. You like that word? She fished through her mind. Eugenie was thinking really hard. Eugenie fished through her mind and devised a brilliant experiment. Could she train a shark the way a person trains a dog? Were sharks much smarter than anyone knew? They were. Eugenie was the first scientist in the world to train sharks and even learned they could remember their training for at least 2 months after. Whoa. So here we are, my friends. Sharks were not mindless killers. Sharks were beautiful. Sharks were smart. Oh, I want to change that because, it's still happening today. Sharks are not mindless killers. Sharks are beautiful. Sharks are smart. They deserve to be studied, protected, and loved. and Eugene's dream was now becoming true. So, with that story, I hope Eugene has not only amazed you with the great things that women can do, but also has inspired you that whatever your dream is, follow it and make it happen. And when you go to the library, you might want to check out this book. After you're finished reading it, check out the back. There are these cute little bits of information about sharks, and they call them shark bites, which is pretty cool. Some of them are interesting. And then there's a timeline about Eugene's life, and it might find some interesting facts about her. So I hope you have enjoyed this story and that you are inspired that, hey, us girls can go out there and accomplish all kinds of things. Happy reading, rascals.